I'm so lonely, Mr. Lonely. Why don't somebody come and wait? What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Viva Los Bills. I'm your host, Buffalo Will, and I am joined by nobody as of right now. Cousin Vinny is out there on the road working. He's putting in that work. Hopefully, he's driving safely. I think he's coming from Georgia to Florida or Florida to Georgia. I don't know. As long as the guy's being safe out there. Right now, it's just me. Bobby Blackjack might be popping on a little later to join us. So let's get the show going as we always do, even though the Bills aren't playing. Got my little brew here for the show. We're going to crack that open. A little cheers to all the Bills fans watching. Buffalo Bills out there. Salute. Keeping the classic with the pinky up. Feels good. All right. So let's get it going. Let's talk about the big game last Sunday. We haven't been on again. We always come on Thursdays, so we're a little late, but we're going to talk about it. I actually like the outcome. Vinny's not here to talk about it because Vinny chose the Kansas City Chiefs, while yours truly picked Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If I had to choose a team from the North or the NFC, it would have been Tampa Bay. One of my favorite teams back in the day, with the big Buccaneer on the side and the creamsicle jerseys, like I said in the past. Anyway, that doesn't matter now. But I was rooting for Brady because, as we all know, I sip on that Kansas City haterade, not just because they beat us, but pretty much I don't like the attitude, even though, listen, Mahomes is a great player. Some of the plays he made, like when he was running, trying to avoid the tackles or the sacks, and still was throwing the ball on point, diving in there and throwing that ball, and it hit the receivers to boot. Crazy. The kid was putting in some work. I have to give him credit, but I was happy to see Tampa Bay's defense do what the Bills' defense should have done. Those two linebackers, White, and I forgot the other kid's name, but they were all over the field. They played them right. They played the zone with Hill up top. They gave Kelsey the little shots underneath, added up to over 100 yards. But it was great to see Tampa shut them down, man. They went in. Green Bay. The Chiefs got them out. Took them out 3 and out, and you're like, oh boy, here we go. Then Tampa knocked them out 3 and out. I was like, all right, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. I could dig it. And then, Tom Brady got the wheel rolling, started connecting with his players. One thing they were able to do was get separation, which the Bills weren't able to get against Kansas City. Another thing, some people were crying foul because of all the penalties. I was happy to see that they were calling holding, especially on the defensive, on the corners. Some people will say, hey, let them play. But even if you're holding them, they can't cut to the left, can't cut to the right, can't get out. You're impeding their progress. And, I was kudos to the refs for catching them because they were doing it a lot. They did it against the Bills, but whatever. I sound like a hammer right now, but it's true. They were doing it to the Bills, and it stunk. We didn't get those calls, but they weren't going to allow that for Tampa Bay. They weren't going to allow the Kansas City Chiefs to hold the Tampa Bay receivers. It wasn't happening, and I'm glad they picked it. It was kind of weird, but you knew it was going to happen. Tom Brady for Gronk, touchdown. Hit him again for another touchdown. It was, it was like looking at the Pats playing again. And then they got Brown to get a touchdown, and Leonard Fournette, who I said the Bills should have gotten for that ground and pound running back, he scored a touchdown for them as well. They just played really good all-around football. Tom Brady kept saying, hey, they haven't even played their best game yet. Their best game was coming, and it came 31-9. They smacked them up. I was saying, hey, man, 28-24. I thought the Bucs would win by that. People thought I was crazy. But, man, they went in there and put a shellacking on them. Box score-wise, I was just looking. Listen, the running game wasn't really there for them. Hilaire had 64 yards on 9 carries. He did break one for 26 yards, but they were containing him. They didn't let Tyreek go crazy. 7 catches, 73 yards. Not bad. It's not a bad day. And Travis Kelce, 10 for 133. He put in work. Listen, one thing I loved seeing was when he got popped and dropped those balls. I think it was like 2 drop passes or 3 drop passes, and he got up to his face like, it was beautiful because this guy loves to scream and talk crap out there and thinks he's the best tight end ever. You're not. You actually saw one of the better tight ends and Gronk out there doing his work, and he was blocking like a beast, and he was able to score 2 touchdowns. So Gronk put in the work. I was glad to see that. Mahomes' final score over here. I got to get to that. But I was just, again, seeing him all frustrated. He did go 26 for 49. 49 passes. Come on, man. It was ridiculous. They couldn't get nothing going. And he threw 2 picks, which was beautiful. I loved it. Brady went in there 21 for 29. The GOAT, 201 yards. Didn't have to go crazy, but he threw the difference. 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. This guy put in work. These guys picked them apart like he had to. They did what I said the Bills should have done or play that game. It was beautiful for me to watch. I sip on the Kansas City Haterade. And being that they lost in the Super Bowl is even sweeter. So that's my take on it. Another thing was, listen, some of these passes he threw, like I said, running like a crazy man, just throwing it up. And he almost got the one guy in the end zone. It was freaking amazing. He almost got that. There should have been a holding call because he tackled, I believe, Jason Pierre-Paul on that one play. The official was looking right at it, didn't call it. There should have been a call. But, I guess at that point, they just wanted Kansas City to do something. But for him to get those passes to the receivers like he did was pretty crazy. It's almost like something Allen would do, but if Allen was doing it in the game, they'd be like, oh, my God, he's just throwing this up. What's he thinking? Don't throw it up and be crazy like that. But being that it was Mahomes doing it, it's okay. And the only thing, man, they could not say nothing wrong about Mahomes in this game. The commentators were always making excuses for him. Oh, his toe. Oh, his left tackle or right tackle is not here, so they had to adjust the line. Stuff everybody else has dealt with, but they were making excuses for this guy and why they were losing the way they were losing. It's ridiculous. Their punter choked big time in the game. What was he doing? I think his long was like 30 yards or something. Great for Tampa, great field positioning, but they always make excuses for this team, which drives me crazy. Stop it. No reason for it. They play like everybody else, and you got to hold them accountable. They crapped the bed against Tampa, and I loved it, but whatever. Some people, were happy to see Tampa. Some people hate it because they hate Brady. But again, like I've always said, even as a Bills fan, never hated Brady because Brady doesn't talk crap. He goes on the field, and he does what he has to do, and he gets the job done. Kudos to them. Congratulations to them for winning it. It's a new season now. We start off from scratch again like every other year. So we got to put in that work now, Buffalo. It's going to be hard because one of the things is the salary cap was up and down. Everybody's saying, it's not as bad or grim. Last week they were saying it might be, it was saying it might be anywhere from 175 million to 185 million now. So hopefully it's on the higher level and it will help us out some. Real quick, what's up, Ken? How you doing? Oh, baby. They're on their feet at the Garden. I heard that. They're going to start getting great news. They're going to start letting some fans into the building. So that means I'll be going back to work at some point. Okay, I guess I'm having a little internet problems. I heard other people were having them too, so I froze. What up, Nick? You scrub. Telling me I'm frustrated because my face is freezing. Anyway, thanks for checking in, guys. Keep up the comment as I'll say it. If they pop them out, I scream, I'll put them out. If not, I'll just look over here like a crazy man, and I'll read your comments on there. A few things going on also on Patrick Mahomes. Because of his toe, they said after the game he was going to have toe surgery. He had his surgery. Supposedly it went successfully. So good for him. Hopefully he'll get out there, and there won't be no excuses when he's hobbling and he messes up and throws 2 interceptions. Another guy on the men's is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been cleared to start light drills after his ACL and LCL surgery this season that took him out of the, he had to go get surgery. He didn't finish the year, but he put in some good work during the season. Over here, what we got? Who's this? Comes up as Facebook user. I don't know who it is right now. Sorry, but you're out there. Another guy commenting over here was it Kenny from the K show, which just finished. Thanks for chiming in, Kenny. What's up, Will, my friend? Yes, Kurt was having issues this evening as well. That's why I heard it, because I was listening to your show, and I tried to comment to, was it Marty, the new guy who joined the I-95 network with us. Red man injured, so that's not good. Panarin is injured for the Rangers. Listen, I'm doing the Bill show, and I'm getting Ranger updates. Thanks, Kenny. That's Ken Workington, caller at the Meadowlands Racetrack. So let's keep moving on real quick. Patriots, there's word. It seems like this year is going to be the year of the carousel of quarterbacks. Every quarterback seems to be available for trading, and everybody wants out of their team. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's a little ridiculous to me right now, but whatever. One guy has been talked about is Marcus Mariota. He put in one good game last year, and everybody, I guess, saw something of what should have been with his years in Tennessee. He had a few good years in Tennessee, so there's nothing wrong with it. I always said change of scenery might help the guy. But there's rumors the Patriots might be interested in him. I don't know if I would like that, but if it's the Marcus Mariota, who had a very good game this year, I don't want to say that. I want to see the Marcus Mariota who struggled. And I believe the Bills have a winning record against Marcus Mariota. But again, that's when he was on the Titans. So let's see what happens with him. Also, the Bears and Colts are another two squads supposedly interested in him as well. And with the Raiders, it's believed Derek Carr is also available. So who knows what will happen. Let's get over here. Kenny wrote down, hey, Ken, I'm a huge fan of harness racing and a big fan of yours as well. Oh, look at that. Look at that swift kick. You got a fan. Unfortunately, I live in Maryland now, so I can't make the Big M as often these days. Well, Ken Workington and I, we worked together, man. I worked with him for 18 years, and I've known him longer. Great guy, swift kick, and he loves hockey. Big hockey fan. And so, look at that. Savannah Dad is struggling. Yes, I heard that, Kenny. He is struggling. You clown. Damn it, Ken, this is a Bill show, not a Ranger show right now. Thanks for the updates. I'm messing with you. What's this? You guys should do a segment while eating and judging Jersey City's best buffalo wings. That actually might be a good idea. So far, some of the best wings I've had around here is from a little bar. I think it's called the Fox and the Crow. I mean, they're small wings, but they're very tasty, and they cook them where they're nice and crispy. So that could be an idea, even though Vinny's out in Florida. So I would have to judge the Jersey City wings while he watches me eat them. But that is an idea. We could probably do it some way. Ken's over here saying swift kick that he's going to throw me into the damn box. This guy, he's stuck on a hockey show. I'm going to have to do a hockey show. My brothers talked about it. If we don't get in trouble, it's a possibility. Now, moving on, Broncos released AJ Oboye, which saves them about $13.2 million on their cap. And we're going to see more of these moves happening this year and sooner than later because of the cap. Once they figure out, supposedly they're waiting for the TV contracts to see what happens and how much money is going to be in the actual cap, which is going to kill a lot of teams. Some teams out there have a lot of money, like the Jets, the Jaguars. They're around $70 million each, and then it starts declining all the way down. Fred Kilmartin from the Cold Front Report posted a thing saying that, it might not be as bad as they say because there's different ways to negotiate and play around with the cap. A la Kansas City Chiefs actually do a good job on them, but they're going to be in trouble next year. Well, this upcoming year too with their salary cap, unless they get to work it out somehow. They did. I was reading it. Didn't really read all of it. Kenny over here. I think Kenny and Ken are having a conversation. That's awesome. We do talk horse racing and would love to invite Ken on sometimes. There you go, Swift Kick. Get on there. I always go with the long shots. All right. There's number combinations I like to play. Kenny, come out a lot. We could talk sometime. Anyway, let me keep moving on. Another thing the Raiders are looking at, supposedly they're looking at Juju Smith-Schuster, which would be a great addition to their squad, especially with Ruggs not stepping up as well as everybody thought he would. But again, he was a rookie. Let's see what next year brings for him. But Juju would be a nice addition to that team. I would have liked him on the Bills, but I think we're fine at wide receivers. And who knows, we might be losing some wide receivers. Talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, got another bum over here talking. He should be on the I-95, what is it, Powerbomb wrestling show or whatever it's called. Some scrub Angelo over here telling he's going to powerbomb me. By the way, everybody, Angelo is about 5'2", okay, weighing about $1.45, and I'm only 5'6", so but I weigh around 200 pounds. Powerbomb him with these guns of mine, boy. Better relax. Anyway, Angelo's about 6'5" or some crap like that. He's a big teddy bear. He knows who the man is. This guy. Moving on. Let's go. Hold on. We got more questions. Come on over here. Look at Angelo's watch. He's like, come on now. Jarman, what up? Sucio, where's your brother co-hosting? I should have called him up. Juju going to the Jets. It would be nice for you guys. I wouldn't want to see him on the Jets, but I think it's all going to come down to who the Jets get at quarterback. And there's rumors they're going to trade Darnold, that like the 49ers are a team that are possibly looking at him, and also the Bears. I don't know what's up with the Bears. They have a carousel of quarterbacks every year over there. They're a mess. So I think once the Jets get a quarterback, then maybe some of these pieces will start coming in, and they're going to have to overpay. These players are going to see that there's not much money out there. These guys are going to go like, all right, Jets, you want us? Big money. Big money. So I can see that happening. Also over here, Kenny. So my Bills question for Buffalo Will. Could you see the Bills going after a running back in either the draft or through free agency? I do like the running backs in free agency. Carson, Aaron Jones, Kenyon Drake. I was going to bring this up later, especially, Vinny was going to be on the show, but then he got stuck at work, couldn't do it. I don't think they should draft a running back, especially in the first round. It all depends what happens with Matt Milano. If we lose Matt Milano, we have A.J. Klein, who started playing better until Matt came back, and then Matt started taking that playing time back. So I think if we don't sign Matt Milano, maybe linebacker. We also have, if we need to sign Feliciano, our offensive guard, we're going to lose Williams possibly, or tackle. So these are two big players that we need to sign. If they don't sign it, then you maybe go after an offensive guard or a tackle. That's what I would do, because, listen, our running game, we don't know what our running game is. You're trying to run Singletary, who's like 5'8", 190 pounds maybe, as a single back with no full back, without an extra tight end. It's pretty tough, especially in the NFL with the speed on defense. And then you got Zach Moss. He got hurt. He was looking pretty good, but they're not giving the ball to these guys. You're not running the ball. You're not trying to get into a rhythm. Look at Tampa Bay. They passed the ball. They ran the ball. They did both things. You have to be able to do both things to win a Super Bowl. And especially if they're shutting down your pass, you need to go to the run. We couldn't do that. We never really saw what these guys could do. Would I? Maybe, if he's the best player on the board and we could use a running back. But I also like Antonio Williams, the rookie out of North Carolina. He got into one game against Miami. It was towards the end. The only game he actually played was against Miami. And he looked good. He was promising. So why waste the pick when you got rookie and Moss? Singletary is only his second-year man. These guys really haven't even developed. So I wouldn't do it. I would probably go somewhere else. But everybody's raving about the running back from Alabama. I really didn't watch much college football this year. So I'm not sure. I don't know if I would take a running back. What was all? You can't be one-dimensional. I don't know why you guys aren't popping up here, but I'm reading to the side. Don't think I'm crazy. I got my other laptop here. You can't be one-dimensional in the NFL. This is by Kenny from the KK Show, especially in the playoffs. If you get tone of these guys on the cheap for 1-year deal, I would do it. Yeah, I would bring somebody in if it's cheap. Right now, they're having issues. I mean, I think we're $3 million over the cap. And this is not, later on I'm going to get a little bit more, but this is not after reconstructing some contracts or cutting some people. We're going to have to see what they're doing there. What about this? I don't know why these guys are coming up as Facebook users. Name's not coming out. Sorry to whoever it is, but you know your question. Why was Gronk shoving the Lombardi trophy of his rear during the boat parade? Oh boy, I didn't see that. I did see Tom Brady throw it, and Brait caught it. But if Brait would have dropped that damn Lombardi trophy, it would have been down in the sea, under the sea. That would have been crazy. Brait said if he didn't catch it, he was going to retire from the NFL. Yeah. Okay. So Kurt agrees, not in the draft. Again, it all comes down to, hey, who is the main guy? I mean, if I always say for the Bills to do it, they need a fullback. I thought they were going to use our tight end slash fullback, who transitioned to straight fullback. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but they didn't do it. Lee Smith is contemplating retirement. That was our other tight end who looks like offensive guard right now. I would use him as a fullback if he stayed. But that's like a $2 million contract, so I don't know if they're going to keep him. I think he sees the writing on the wall. Let's keep it moving here. Like I said, the salary cap, we touched on it. The one thing I was wondering about the salary cap is like, okay, if the salary cap is going to drop to 175 or let's say 185, how come the franchise tags are not dropping? But then I was reading and looking around, they're saying they might adjust them as well. You have to adjust them. If you're going to cut the salary cap down and not adjust those franchise tags for this year at least, it would make no sense. You're killing these teams. And one thing Kurt, actually from the K&K show, him and I agree on is these quarterback contracts are ridiculous. So like in a year like this, nobody was predicting this or expecting this with the whole COVID-19 to kill the league, or the salary cap was going to drop. But right now you have these quarterbacks making 20 plus, 30 plus $1 million, and now it's affecting the salary cap. So some of the guys in between, the rookies, are fine because they're making small money. There's a few higher contracts, whether you be your cornerbacks, defensive ends, wide receivers or whatever. They're okay. They might be asked to reconstruct it. But the guys in the middle are the ones who are going to get affected. It's almost like daily life here. The rich are fine, the poor are fine, and the middle class are the ones getting screwed. So right now, the middle class in the football league is going to get messed up. Oh, look at my buddy here. Hey, little buddy. Bear, what's up? Thanks for checking in. Good to see you too, man. Miss you, little buddy. Hope everything's doing well. Look at that. Good to see Bear popping on here. So they need to adjust that as well, because if you don't adjust the franchise tag, that's like the Bills looking, okay, hey, what if we franchise tag Milano this year, which some teams are going to do, franchise a player and hope that next year all gets back to normal, and then you'll be able to offer that player the legitimate salary that he needs. So let's say next year, everything goes back to normal, the salary cap goes up to 200 or whatever million it was. Now you could offer Matt Milano 3 years or 4 years at $14 million a year and so forth. So some teams might take that risk. But at the end of that, if it doesn't happen, if we're still in this mess next year, you're going to get screwed, and you're going to have to probably cut this guy, or some other players are going to get cut. We all got to see where the TV contract comes in and what's the final suggestion, because like I said, I heard 175, then I saw 181, and then I always see 185. So it keeps adjusting. All right, let's see what else. Another guy, which I saw today, which kind of baffled my mind, because I haven't been looking at the football news every day. But when I saw the Seahawks and Russell Wilson are having some marital bliss, not bliss, but conflict, I mean. It's a little crazy. So Seahawks management's upset with him for going on the Dan Patrick show. And I guess at one point he said he wasn't happy with getting a hit as much as he has this year. And also he said, well, he isn't sure if he's available in a trade. So that was kind of just like throwing a little thing out there, see what happens, just to spark interest or whatever. But what happened was, I guess Seattle's manager heard this and they weren't happy with it. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you don't want to be here? Why are you complaining about getting hit? Why are you putting our dirt out there? Everybody sees you were getting hit, but why are you putting this out there? You're not happy here now? And so forth. And this is another guy making big bucks. And, he's the face of their team. But we all know their team is bigger than the person in Seattle. So who knows? But now teams are calling them, seeing what they want, or, what are they looking for Wilson, or if they are willing to trade Wilson, and so forth. So I don't know. It's crazy, man. to not just imagine Seattle not having Wilson. Rumors were already, front runners were, I think, the Cowboys, and I don't know if it was the Raiders or the Cowboys and maybe Bears or something. I'm like, it would be weird to see him not there. Now, this week we had some sad news around the league. One of the great time coaches who never got to, I believe he never won a Super Bowl, was Marty Schottenheimer. And one thing I did forget was that Marty actually started his career with the Buffalo Bills. You know, big Marty right there. He passed away at the age of 77. He's been battling Alzheimer's. I always mess that one up. Alzheimer's since 2004. He was actually a member of the Bills AFL Championship in 1965. And that's him over there in the corner pointing. You know, he spent 4 seasons with Buffalo. He was drafted in the AFL draft by the Bills in the 7th round with the 56th pick. You know, Marty was that guy who always got to the dance, but he couldn't get it done, sad to say. Much respect to him. I always liked him as a head coach. May he rest in peace, and condolences to his family. But like I said, he was part of the Bills Mafia or Bills team long time ago in the AFL years as a backup linebacker. And I believe he made it to the All-Star team in the AFL as well. So it was pretty – I liked watching him, especially like those Kansas City years and the San Diego years. He always, was a good coach. Talking about good coaches, this year, this man was awarded Assistant Coach of the Year, Brian Daboll. As everybody knows, I have a little mixed feelings about Brian Daboll here. To me, he had a great regular season. And then in the playoffs, he kind of veered off. Some of the play callings he was doing kind of went a little softer or south, stuck too much to the pass, didn't implement the run enough. But either way, he had a great year. He helped his offense put up numbers they haven't put up before. He was up there for possibly San Diego coach. He didn't get it, so he stuck with the Bills. Well, good for him coming back, and hopefully we'll get this ball rolling again like we did this year and just add more to the run game and get that going. What else we got here? Quick things. Now, I keep seeing about possible cap casualties for the Bills. One of the possibilities was this guy brought up, Mario Addison. He's 34 years old. If the Bills cut ties with him, they'll save $6.1 million. Personally, I like Addison. I got to talk to Vinny. Maybe we'll do next week's show about who we would cut or who we would keep just to see it like salary cap wise. Personally, I think Addison was one of our best defensive ends this year, even though I think Jerry Hughes' stats or percentages were higher than Addison's. But Addison, to me, provided more pressure than Hughes. He was all over the field, and he led the team in sacks, I think, only by half a sack or something like that, which isn't too crazy. Now, another possible cut, which was brought up, is this man, Mr. Brown. Smoke. He didn't get to play much of this year because of injuries. But, he's 31 years old. If they cut him, they will save $7 million. Now, I don't know if they have trade on how much dead money they would have or if they would have any at all. But this is another guy, man. He's been good to us. Yeah, Diggs came in this year, took his spot. He was plagued with injuries, I believe COVID too, so he struggled. He put in work, and he's a very valuable asset. The problem is Gabriel Davis stepped up. So Davis could possibly take Brown's spot. And in the playoffs, I know he was only 2 weeks in against Kansas City. He really didn't do much. He wasn't there. So would I like to see Smoke gone? No, I'd like to keep him unless they're going to trade him and get something we need with another player or position we need. But again, $7 million is pretty, especially with the cap. If we're strapped like they're saying we are, $7 million is pretty nice. Got a comment over here. Bam. John Browns would be a good fit in Green Bay. If healthy, he could be a great number 2. Yeah, there was a rumor that, somebody said, hey, Smoke, it was great to have you on the squad. Let's see what the future holds. And I think he said, hey, let's see what what happens, what the future holds. And it was believed it was possible Atlanta would be a spot for him. So who knows? I also agree with you. Gabe Davis is a sneaky good up and coming wide receiver. Yeah, man. I'm glad you agree, man, because he put in some work. He was up there with rookie wide receivers, and he didn't play as much once Brown came back in those games. But when it was just him and Diggs and Beasley, he looked good. He has very good hands, and he's got speed too, and he's just learning. Again, it's rookie year, so just imagine next year he should take that next step. Hopefully, he skips the whole sophomore slump. Another guy they're talking about possibly getting rid of, well, I hope not either, is this guy, Vernon Butler. Vernon Butler is one of our better defensive tackles. I know Star Latulier comes back. Vernon, the one thing I like about him, he's only 26 years old. If they cut him, they'll save $6.8 million. I'd rather not see that. I'd rather keep this guy. Star Latulier, I think he has one more year on the contract, if I'm not mistaken. And he's older. So this guy could slide into his spot after Star either leaves or takes less money. We also have Oliver. Personally, I like Oliver, but I would probably move Oliver to defensive end. All our defensive tackles are pretty small, and it's frustrating to me because they're not stopping the run like they should. So this guy sitting in there, let's say Star comes back. Now you got Vernon, Star. Star will help him. Star is good with stopping the run. So they'll teach Vernon what to do, hopefully, to get into that position to slow down the run. We need to slow down the run. That's why I say, hey, if there's a guy in the draft that weighs 340, 350 plus defensive tackle, take him. I'm not saying in the first round. Pick that guy up. There's a free agent who weighs over 350 pounds. Take him. Look at those big boys that Tampa had over there. I think it's number 50 or something like that. Defensive tackle. Big boy. You need those big bodies to keep them off. That need two guys on them. This way it frees up somebody else as one-on-one. You need that. You need it. Sad to say, somebody brought this guy up, and I was like, what? You're going to bring up Cole Beasley? Cole Beasley? Listen, it wouldn't even really be worth it. Cole Beasley's 32 years old. He was one of our best players, especially on third down. They're saying, well, you could get rid of Cole Beasley and save $4.3 million. Why? He was one of our best receivers. He is our best receivers in the slot. I would not get rid of Cole Beasley. And by the way, Cole Beasley is the only player in the NFL right now with 325 plus receptions and 0 fumbles over the last 5 seasons. That's insane. He is the only player with less than 2 fumbles. How could you get rid of a player like that? That's ball security, and this guy's catching the ball in the middle. He's taking those pops, getting hit. How would you get rid of Cole Beasley? I want it. I let the guy play out the rest of his years. No reason to get rid of him. That would be nuts to me. Another guy over here, I've got to give this guy kudos. When they signed him, I was like, all right, I get it. It's a depth move. I didn't think he was going to take over the right cornerback slot. But Josh Norman, man, this guy has come into Buffalo, and he's been acting like he's always been a Bill. He's been helping out the community. He's raised over $500,000 for Buffalo businesses. These are the kind of players you want. Listen, he's been a great addition to the Buffalo community. The team loves him. He knows the system. He didn't really get to play much in this year. I thought he would be playing more, say, in the slot position or whatever, but he's given us depth. But again, he's raised over $500,000 for the local businesses in Buffalo, which is a beautiful thing. He's a free agent. I don't know if they're going to re-sign him. I don't know if he would take a lot less money because, $6 million, I think, is what he made. I really don't think they're going to bring him back for that much money. Another rumor is that Richard Sherman has been linked, that the Bills might go after him. But, how much money, and that he wants a 2-year contract. So would it be nice? Yeah, but how much money are they going to pay Richard Sherman to go in there? I'd rather have them pay Levi Wallace, probably a lot less than Richard Sherman. Levi knows the system. He's a pretty damn good corner, and he's getting better. Again, this was his, second year, third year? He's getting better. The guy sees more action than White. People bring that up. But, yeah, nobody wants to throw to White. They're throwing at Levi. And the guy had a few picks, and he's getting better. And Tyron Johnson's another guy who's a free agent. Hopefully they can re-sign him as well. What else we got? Well, that was it. One thing was talking about again was, hey, the running back in the draft. Everybody's got the Bills picking up a running back, and Kenny talked about it and brought it up, and I said, you know, I don't think so. I think you have to give, if there's a more or a bigger need at that position, say our DN. Okay, we got AJ. Is AJ going to take the next spot next year? Are we going to keep Hughes? Are we going to keep Addison? You know, should they shift Oliver over to DN? He's fast. He's a smaller guy. He's not that big. These are things you got to look at, especially when the cap situation gets figured out. I don't know if I would take Alabama's running back. Maybe. If we lose our linebacker, probably take a linebacker. Our safeties are there, so that's fine. Again, offensive guard, offensive tackle. Again, if there's a big meat and potato defensive tackle that's, you know, good enough to go in the first round at that late, yeah, I'd take him instead. Yeah, I think that's about it right now. I might be missing something. Everybody stopped commenting and talking. You know, Bobby was going to come on, but Bobby ain't here right now. So I'm going to take a little sip of this to keep classy. And I might be bidding all of you adieu. I don't see any more comments. Next week, I think I'm going to talk to Vinny. And we'll probably say, hey, who should we cut? Who should we keep? You know, within our roster, not going to look at moves to go pick up or trade or whatever, unless we do say trades. Say if you try to work something out to trade for J.J. Watt is another guy. A lot of people are linking to the Bills now, even though I've been saying that since he said he was not happy in Houston. So, yeah, we're playing out that for next week. Next Thursday, we'll be here again. Hopefully, Cousin Vinny will be joining us. Thanks for everybody who commented. Makes the show a lot easier for me, especially when I'm by myself. So thank you. And on that note, I'm going to bid you adieu. Adios. Nice seeing some of the guys come on. Ken, Kenny, Big Bear, Inch, Nick. I might be forgetting people over here. Good Lord. But thank you all for coming. And let's go Buffalo. Until next week. Adios. Nos vemos. Buenas noches.